In India, it's considered that if you're in a relationship, especially a marriage, you must be having a lot of sex. So don't be surprised if I tell you that there are so many marriages and relationships in India that are sexless. Welcome to our brand new show, Allo, Ask the Sexpert, which is a space where we invite sexual health and wellness experts, aka Sexperts, to talk about sex, pleasure, health, and so much more so that you can have better sex backed by science. I'm Artika, and today I'm joined by Dr. Sandip, who is the medical lead for Allo Health and who's changed and impacted so many lives with his work as a sexologist. Welcome, sir. Thank you so much for being here. How are you doing today?
I am good. Thank you for having me on the show, Artika.
Great. So I just mentioned something about sexless marriages and sexless relationships. So there's so much that is exchanged between partners in a marriage or a relationship. In that context, how important is sex when it comes to a marriage or a relationship?
Let me put it this way. Good relationship, good sexual relationship. Think of these two broad circles. In a marriage or in a couple relationship, whether it is the same sex or the heterosexual relationships, good relationship, if you ask me, is the basis and the fundamental necessity for a couple to enjoy good sexual relationship.
Right.
And in Allo, we often use the term that sex is not only intercourse, sex is intercourse plus outer course.
Right.
Outer course is anything a couple would do behind closed doors without clothes. So all of these form the complete set when it comes to intimacy.
Right. So I think what we're getting at is that good relationships will equal to good sex and not necessarily the opposite. Is that so?
Sorry if I put it that way. So they both balance themselves nicely.
Right.
Again, don't quote me anywhere, but men by and large prefer to approach this cycle from right to left.
Okay.
By being intimate with their partners, they're trying to show, how close they are in their relationship. So the miffed women in the sessions often ask me, why is it that when he is making out or when he's about to reach climax, he says, "I love you, darling."
Yeah.
Women, on the other hand, again, I didn't say all men or all women,
Right.
but they tend to go from the good relationship, which they feel good when they are taken care of, given the attention, respected, valued,
Right.
and intimacy, sexual intimacy seems like a natural extension following from there.
Yeah.
Seldom do couples who don't see each other eye to eye, the bad relationship, let's put it that way. Seldom do those couples have great sex, which means that the basis of good sexual intimacy takes us all the way back to good relationship,
Right.
which has to have a fine balance between communication, the emotional connect between both of them, consent, respect for each other, values, so on and so forth. There are so many other
Right.
elements
Right.
to it.
No, I'm so glad that you actually talked about both the scenarios because, people who are in the audience, it must be really validating for them to hear this, that for a lot of people, the foundation for a good relationship could be intimacy. And for a lot of people, intimacy comes after they've already established the relationship on the basis of other factors.
Just to add on to that, if
Yeah.
I may.
Yeah.
Yeah. So early in the relationship, whether it is a romantic relationship or post-marriage, in an arranged marriage scenario, the first 1 to 2 years, we call them as the honeymoon period.
Right.
Sexual intimacy tends to be in the air. They just have to look at each other,
Yeah.
maybe signal or start some intimacy, which leads to something,
Yeah.
a lot more. But later on, in a settled relationship, the good relationship certainly takes precedence.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think from here I have to ask you another question.
Go on.
Which is, um, why would somebody not want to have sex or get intimate with their partner? Like, what could be the reason, or what are the reasons?
That's a good question and a difficult one. There could be a variety of reasons, Artika. We look at them as his reasons, her reasons, and theirs. It could be an issue with their relationship. It could be a sexual dysfunction.
Right.
In men, sexual dysfunctions could be issues in getting and sustaining an erection, erectile
Right.
dysfunction as it is called. We don't use the word impotence anymore.
Right.
Then there could be issues with ejaculation, either coming too quickly or not being able to reach climax or ejaculate in men. From the woman's side, there could be problems with desire. There could be issues with her ability to get aroused. There could be problems when it comes to the penetrative act for her. A lot of women could complain of pain during intercourse.
Right.
So these are the sexual dysfunctions. In Allo, jokingly, we use the words software and hardware. So hardware is anything to do with the body. Software could be relationship issues, psychological well-being, very important. So if there's a lot of stress one of them experiences as a result of anything that happens in their life, it could be work, finances, relationship with other members in the family, those could impact sexual desire. Then psychiatric problems like anxiety, depression, addictions, something as inane as dental issues. So if one of the partners has issues with their dental hygiene, that could be a put-off for the other partner. So it's very interesting when patients come to us, we almost become the detective. Our job becomes so interesting because no one couple or individual has the same problem as another one. So if the couple are not able to sort it out, they must seek professional help.
Right. I think because you mentioned dysfunctions right now, I think I have to ask, is sexless marriage in itself also a sexual health concern of sorts? Would you say so?
I don't know if you are referring to couples who have never been able to have intercourse. Is that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Both.
Okay. Two scenarios. The first scenario is where they have never been able to have intercourse.
Okay.
That one, we call it as an unconsummated marriage. Okay. The next scenario is a couple who have been able to have sexual intercourse. For whatever reason, they then go on to have less frequent sexual activity.
Right.
I'll quickly touch upon the unconsummated relationship or marriage. Perhaps that's a separate topic in itself for your podcast in future. A lot of couples are not able to have sexual intercourse despite trying for at least 6 months or more.
Okay.
That scenario, we call it as an unconsummated relationship or a marriage. They can be helped. The causes can be from either his side, her side, or mixed or combined causes.
Right. I do have another question, which is, I think, in part been answered here, which is, if a marriage or a relationship does not have sex, is it bound to end? Will there be a breakup that we're looking at?
Not necessarily. If there's a lot more holding them together, then they probably want to continue being that way. If one of the partners is unhappy and the other doesn't see it as a problem, then yes, it may end up with a lot of acrimony in the marriage.
That was very insightful, all of the things that you just shared. And that's also, it's time for me to lead you into the next section, which is Ask Your Question. This is a section where we crowdsource questions from all of you. So if any of you have a question, the link is in the description below. You can send us your questions anonymously. Today, I'm going to take some questions that we have about the same topic, about sexless marriages. May I proceed with that?
Sure, please do.
Okay, the first question is, I've been married for 6 years and we haven't had sex till now. We have tried to but not been able to. What can we do?
Okay, I'm not sure about the gender of this person, but whether it's a man or a woman asking this question, I would say that they should both go to a expert in terms of first getting an evaluation done.
Okay.
And they can be sure if they come to Allo that they will be treated with a lot of dignity, not put into any kind of uncomfortable situation asking those questions. Only when we know what is the cause, like the detective work I was talking about earlier, we will be able to help a couple like this. So they should see somebody.
I think Dr. Sandip is not saying this, but he is an expert with Allo. So if you do come to Allo, you'll get to speak to Dr. Sandip, which will be helpful, I'm sure. Coming to the next question. I don't feel like having sex, but I'm scared that my girlfriend will cheat on me. What can I do?
Okay, we do get a lot of people who are insecure about aspects like these. It's good that this person has come up and asked this question. What I would encourage them to do is to have an open discussion with their partner. Tell her about what the issues that are concerning him. And perhaps he needs to take some professional help.
Absolutely. Coming to the last question, it's about the frequency actually. So the question says, is there a particular number of times I need to have sex if I'm married? They've not said in a week, in a month, but a particular number of time in a month, let's say.
Sure. How long is the piece of string? We don't know.
Yeah.
So there's no number. It's anything that the couple are comfortable with. And like I said in the beginning, in the first couple of years, the honeymoon period, intimacy, intercourse, the frequency tends to be higher. But as things plateau, they come to a common understanding. So I'm afraid that's the best I could come up with.
No, I mean, that's perfect. I think a lot of the conversation today was about individual experiences and honoring individual experiences and differences. So we're, just about in the same area right now as well. That brings me to the end of the segment and this episode. And I have to tell you that I thoroughly enjoyed talking to you about this and a very controversial topic, which you answered everything so well and so calmly. So that was a really good experience for me to talk to you, and I'm sure it's going to be an amazing experience for all of the listeners and the audience members as well. So until then, this is me, Artika, and Dr. Sandip signing off. We'll see you again with another episode and another Sexpert. Take care. Bye.